Hi, I'm Curious Vedanth, and welcome to season 2 of my podcast. Today, my guest is Anushka Shah, who is a final year law student in Mumbai. She is also a professional Mohiniattam dancer, the community service director of Rotaractor Club of Bombay Bayview, an active volunteer at PeTA India, and has co-founded Project Law to spread awareness on animal welfare. She is also a volunteer at St. Jude's India Child Care Center. Hi Anushka, welcome to my show.
Hi Vedant, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. This is going to be exciting.
Yeah.
So Anushka, I'm curious to know, how do you find time to do so many things outside of college?
Okay, that's interesting. So, honestly, if I had to say, I don't think it's about finding time. I think it's about making the time. So, for example, if you have XYZ that you want to do on a particular day, it's about, just allotting time frames to those activities and making sure that you execute them, eventually. So, it's just about, if you have that passion, if you have that drive, and you're able to plan, I think you can do as many activities as you want in a day, irrespective. So if we leave, those activities to, for example, when we find time, okay, when I'm free, I'll do it. I think more of the times, more often than not, that doesn't happen because, with our careers and with our busy schedules, that free time just we can't fit in. So it's more about making the time, and it just boils down to, planning and time management.
So if you haven't done something in a long time and you have a busy day, do you just cancel some of the busy stuff and make time to do other stuff?
Of course, yeah. If that busy stuff is something that can be postponed to another time, and I need that breather or that stress buster, yeah, definitely make time for it, for sure.
Nice.
Okay.
What do you do when you volunteer at St. Jude's Child Care Center?
Okay, so St. Jude's, I'll just give you a brief background. St. Jude's India Child Care Center is it's an organization, an NGO that houses children that suffer from cancer from all across India. They come with their parents and they stay here in cities while they undergo treatment for cancer. So what we do at the Rotaractor Club of Bombay Bayview to help St. Jude's is we organize recreational sessions, like online right now, of course, for these little children. I think they're around 5 to 11 years. And like, for example, we hold activities like, yoga or like drawing or storytelling or even like GK quizzes, just sort of interactive sessions to keep them occupied, to keep them busy, and also something that's educative for them. So we try and do this at least like every weekend in a month. So we have different volunteers coming in from our club and volunteering to conduct these sessions there.
Mm-hmm. My grandparents are members of the Rotary Club of Cantonment Secunderabad in Hyderabad. I have seen them help schools and have gone with them for some events. What do you do in the Rotaractor Club?
Okay, so like you said, your grandparents are part of the Rotary. Similarly, Rotary is a parent club, and Rotrac, the club that I'm part of, is the child club of the Rotary. So our age group of our members is between, say, 18 to 25 years of age. And what we do, so this club is mainly contributed towards social service, but we also try and have a little fun and entertain ourselves by, having fellowships and firesides and different meetings. And since community service is our main goal, we try to fit in different projects in the year. I'll give you a few examples. Like we have visits to old age homes to hold interactive sessions with, old people who are abandoned or just have joined old age homes. We have blood donation drives. We have drives where we collect old clothes and donate it to, people who actually need it. Then, of course, this year we have our St. Jude's recreational sessions, like I said. And we also try and celebrate different festivals with different NGOs or children. So, just to bring a little happiness into their lives. And since we're a child club, we use more of manpower than actual funds donation. So I think that's what we stand for.
Christmas is coming up. Do you give presents to the children at St. Jude's?
We will, in fact. That's a great idea. So, yeah, no, for sure. So we do celebrate different festivals, like I said, and Christmas is one of them. So, of course, we would love to go to St. Jude's and, distribute gifts. That would be great.
Like maybe dress up as Santa and go.
Yeah, for sure. That's cool.
Can you tell us more about Project Claw?
Sure. So Project Claw is actually a project that I thought of in this lockdown. It's not yet started, but we plan to kick off around this month sometime. So what I did was I was volunteering with PETA, which is People for Ethical Treatment of Animals. And that's when I was helping them out with this workshop called the Compassionate Citizen Workshop. And what that workshop does is it basically sensitizes children from 8 to 12 years of age, like you, children like you, on animal welfare and how to take care of animals, not to mistreat them. So it's a little curated workshop by PETA, which I was conducting through the lockdown. And I thought it was very, very interesting, and it was very well curated. And I thought, it should be conducted in more schools and more NGOs just to increase the impact. So that's when I started a thought of Project Claw. Claw stands for Compassion Links All Worlds. And what I basically am planning to do is get more volunteers like me through like contacts of friends and family, and train them through PETA to conduct this workshop. And then they conduct it to different NGOs and schools, with underprivileged children who don't have the privilege to get this knowledge otherwise through, public schools or government schools. So they really need this knowledge. So I plan on conducting these workshops at these different NGOs and schools. So I'm just helping out, to increase the impact and make a difference, hopefully.
My dad was also part of PETA India.
Oh, that's cool. Did he like it?
Yeah, he was there when he was training for, I think, law school. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's cool.
I did not know about Mohiniattam dancing until I was researching about you. Can you tell me more about this dance form and how you got interested in it?
Sure. So that's a question I get asked very often, because Mohiniattam is not a very heard of dance form, though it is one of the classical dance forms of India, but it's just less heard of. But nonetheless, it's equally gracious and, and captivating. So I'll tell you, Mohiniattam, if I break it down for you, Mohini means a beautiful girl, and Attam means dance. So together, it means the dance by a beautiful girl, or the dance by an enchantress. So this dance form originated in the state of Kerala in India. It's actually a sort of mixture of Kathakali and Bharatanatyam. So it's a softer version of the dance form. And it has very like palm-like motion and swift moves, and it's very soft but very, very graceful at the same time. So how I got interested is actually I did try out Bharatanatyam and I did try out Odissi, the conventional forms, and then I tried out Mohiniattam. So comparatively, I really enjoyed Mohiniattam, and it's also not very heard of, and it wasn't very common then. So I thought of doing something different. And of course, it has its roots in, classical dance. So that ticked that box too. So that's how I decided, to do Mohiniattam. And it's been around, I think, 15 years now since I've been training. And I've also done my Arangetram, which is a sort of graduation, like how when you graduate from school, you have a graduation ceremony. So we have a little performance that we do when we finish our sort of, period of training. And that's called the Arangetram. So that's what I also did.
Is it very hard to learn Mohiniattam?
Not at all. I think if you have the right training and if you have the right passion, nothing is hard.
Okay, I understand now.
Mm-hmm.
Of all the social causes that you work for, which is your favorite?
Oh, which is my favorite? That's actually an interesting question. I don't think I could pick one course, that's very broad since all the courses are very, very close to my heart. But of course, if I had to pick one social service event, like a particular event that I attended or a social charity service that I did, would be when I taught the children of Kolaba Municipal School here in Mumbai. I taught them semi-classical dance for about 6 months from 2019 to 20. And that was in fact very interesting for me and them as well, because them being a government municipal school, they don't have the facility, to have these dance classes and these extracurricular activities. And you won't believe it, some of the girls almost around your age, they love it. They were so happy, dancing or being taught these extracurricular activities. And it gave me so much joy to actually teach them, because it was like a combination of both my passions, right? I was dancing as well as I was doing social service. So I think that was one activity that was very, very satisfying. And if I had to choose one of my favorites, it would definitely be one of them.
I also want to learn classical dances.
You should, for sure.
You are studying law. What made you choose to be a lawyer, and what type of lawyer do you want to be?
What made me choose to be a lawyer? Okay, so this is actually an interesting one, because I didn't always want to do law, but always growing up as a child, I've seen my parents and my dad mostly deal with property lawyers, lawyers related to real estate cases, because we had a few of them. So I was always intrigued by lawyers, but it wasn't enough to make me take up law as a career then. But then as I grew up, I took finance as my graduation. And interestingly, I had a few law subjects in my finance degree. For example, I did company law, I studied a little bit of contract law. And that's when I realized that, okay, I mean, I like studying it. I wouldn't mind wanting to take it up, in future. So that's when I decided that post-graduation, I wanted to take up 3-year law. And yeah, then I went for it. And I'm studying law.
And what type of lawyer do you want to be?
What type of lawyer? Okay, so I did intern at a few firms, different firms, because I think it's very important to try out, different things before you rule them out. So I interned at a litigation firm, which is what actual lawyers do when you see them, in the black and white coat and in court. So I tried out that type of law. Then I tried out real estate law, and I tried out taxation law. Then finally, I tried out company law, which deals with corporations and companies. And that's what I found most interesting. So, yep, I'm hoping to be a corporate lawyer someday.
I'm also thinking of becoming a lawyer, but I'm not yet sure.
That's great. No, you should keep your options open. Try out everything.
I will.
Mm-hmm.
What tips do you have for me and my listeners on time management?
Time management. So, to be very honest, it's not as complicated and as tough as people, make it to be. I think if you do the simple things, for example, just, plan your days ahead, plan your weeks ahead, sometimes even months. Of course, it's easier said than done, but I think it's not impossible. You can have a rough estimate. And of course, when you get closer to the date, you get a better idea. But it's very important to stick to your schedule and to actually execute it and not just, procrastinate, as we all say. I think inculcate that little amount of discipline in your life. Just keep a sleep schedule, very important. It's important to get those hours of sleep, but also at the right time. Of course, a little deviation here and there is always allowed. You absolutely must have that fun in your life. So a little deviation here and there is absolutely fine, but more or less, I think a plan, schedule, and just time management, the little steps, simple things, baby steps, and yeah, you're good to go.
Those are really good tips.
Thank you.
You try to follow them.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on my show.
Thanks, Vedant. It was my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Dear listeners, follow my Facebook page, Curious Vedanth, to get updates on my upcoming episodes, to listen at leisure on your phone and get notified about future episodes. Subscribe by searching for Curious Vedanth wherever you get your podcasts, such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and many more. You can also listen to my show on curiousvedanth.com. Thank you for listening to Curious Vedanth, and don't forget to rate and leave comments.